It's the boxing match that's been called the Battle of the Baddest. And you can see why, as the contenders came literally face-to-face last night ahead of their bout.
The Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury, is taking on a complete boxing newcomer, former mixed martial arts champion Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia tomorrow night. And he joins us now from Riyadh. Good to speak to you this morning. Don't you worry, I would never dare say that you have love handles, but I understand that you might say that. We'll get to that in a moment. So this should be an easy win for you, shouldn't it? If he's not, you know, a proper boxer.
I'm not so sure about easy. Have you seen the shape of the guy? 6'5", 19 stone of solid muscle, and he's an absolute knockout artist. So I'm not taking him very lightly. I've trained really hard. I put 12 weeks in camp, and I'm ready for battle.
But you have been jokingly recently saying that you've been eating McDonald's. Is that right? I mean, are you treating this fight seriously?
Yeah, I always eat McDonald's, marshmallows, beef burgers, Kit Kats, a lot. How do you think I maintain this body shape?
Well, we know now.
I don't think I eat salads and vegetables and stuff, do you?
So, you know, this is part of your spirit and the way you always take things on. But as you say, you have been training for this very, very hard, to the point when you even missed the birth of your 7th child. That must have been a blow.
Yes, that's correct. But Daddy's got to do what Daddy's got to do, you know. Bills have to be paid, things have to be sacrificed, and Paris understands that when I'm in camp, I can't be there all night at the hospital. So, but I got to see him early hours in the morning when they were born, so that's all fantastic.
Oh, so you saw him soon after he came into the world, which is great.
I did.
Does it worry you that they say about Ngannou, the guy you're fighting this weekend, that he's got the strongest punch ever, apparently? They've done some sort of scientific research into this. Does that worry you?
Not really. They've all got strong punches. All of these heavyweights, they've got strong punches. So it doesn't really bother me at all. All the guys I've fought of recent times are big punchers and big guys. So it's the heavyweight division. If they weren't big and big punchers, it wouldn't be heavyweights. Yeah.
And what would you say? This guy's UFC. He's more martial arts than boxing, and it's a bit of an uneven contest, maybe.
He looks like a big man to me. And when man versus man in a fight, anything can happen.
Does it present something different? Because you've not, for you, as a challenge in the preparation, because you haven't seen him take on this kind of challenge in the way that you might have other opponents that you can study and look at.
Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult to get any footage on the guy, but at the end of the day, I can only be the best version of myself. It's not really about what the opponent does ever. It's always about me being the best version of myself and going in there fully prepared and expecting the unexpected.
Now, look, you've also announced that in 8 weeks' time, you're going to have the sort of unified, undisputed fight with Usyk in, is it December the 23rd? But that's just in 8 weeks' time. Is that enough prep?
Yeah. It's a turnaround. It's a quick turnaround, yes, that's for sure. But, you know, I've been prepping for these boxing fights for 35 years. If I can't do it now, I'm never going to be able to do it.
And why now? What, you know, there's been so much question whether you would ever fight him and whether this fight was ever going to happen. What has turned your decision this time that actually, yeah, I'm going to go for it?
It's never been the thing of I'm going to go for it or I'm not going to go for it. It's always been there's things happened and finances haven't been involved and things haven't worked out for whatever reason. This time, everything's in place, everything's there, and the deal was done in like 10 minutes. Well, where before it was taking months on end to get sorted out.
Well, everybody would be so excited to see that. You've got this fight to get out of the way first, haven't you? And your dad, who always likes to get involved, it's always a family affair, isn't it? He got pretty worked up and said he would take on Mike Tyson, who, of course, is in the corner for your opponent. That in itself is quite a strange thing, isn't it? Because you're looking at a guy who you were named after in the other camp.
That's correct, yeah. It's an absolute pleasure that Mike's involved in this fight. to have somebody who I'm named after as a newborn baby, and then to be on the same stage as a guy boxing at a boxing event with him, it's an absolute honour for me to do that.
Do you think your dad will stay calmer on the night?
Probably not. He loves it. It's all fun and games for me, Dad.
Yeah. You're out in Saudi Arabia. I mean, you know, normally you'd expect something like this to happen in Wembley or even at Vegas. But out in Saudi Arabia, what's it like out there? What's the atmosphere right there, putting on such a big show in a country like Saudi Arabia?
It's unbelievable out here, to be fair. They've treated us like rock stars. They've given us everything we need. They've taken care of the gyms, all the facilities. They've built a stadium within about 90 days. It's unbelievable. The amount of promotion and publicity and everything that's gone into this. It's the biggest event I've ever been involved in, bar none. And don't forget, I've done all the biggest heavyweight fights all over the world. Saudi Arabia is pushing the boat out more than any event I've ever been at before. Yeah. It's like 3 Hollywood movies wrapped in one, and then that's what this event's like. You know,
a lot of people, Tyson, I hope you don't mind me asking, a lot of people sort of question why is this fight happening in a country like Saudi Arabia with all the human rights record in a country like that. But why do you think it's important that fighters like you, that personalities like you take part in sport in Saudi?
I think that there's a lot of misconception out here in Saudi. Having not come here before 2019, we were told to be very careful and watch what you're doing, watch what you're saying, watch where you're looking, don't speak to any women, this, that and the other. And as soon as I got off the plane, I realised that it wasn't true. Very relaxed out here. It's very family orientated. And everybody gets on with everybody. The people are nice people. And I think it's very important that somebody like me, a massive sports stars, and many other stars, whether it's the golf, the football, the boxing, the Formula One, all those people are coming here now. And I think in the next few years, you're going to see Saudi really emerge as a tourist destination and a place where people are coming to the biggest concerts and events in the world. And this is just the start of a massive, massive wave what Saudi's going to start doing.
Well, you sounds like you've had your eyes opened, and that kind of communication is what many people would argue is good anyway, isn't it? We're all very excited to see how you do. You had your shirt off at one. Are you going to be hiding the love handles with the shirt off in the fight, or are you worried about that, or are you just going to get on with it?
I embrace the love handles. The love handles is what makes me unique. It makes me a unique fighter. To have my love handles. I represent all the fat people around the world, all the dad bods, all the chubsters. I fight for those people tonight.
It's always so much fun to talk to you. I will be watching and glued, and great to chat to you this morning.
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you, guys.
You know, whatever you think, he's an incredible personality, isn't he, Tyson Fury? Really, he's a proper showman. Well, all eyes on that fight, but I can't tell you the fight's coming in December. That's the big one. We haven't seen anything like that since Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, the unification of these belts.
It feels like we've been talking about it coming for a while, so in fact, there's a date.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It's going to be great.